Hi, this is Emily. I'm the founder of the Children's Literature Training Academy and of the YouTube channel Kid Lit Book Love, here to do 2 reviews of some fabulous children's books for either Halloween, or if you enjoy the witches and magic or horror, gothic themed children's literature. Howliday Inn by James Howe, and of course The Power of Poppy Pendle by Natasha Lowe. But first I wanted to show you what's going to be coming up on Halloween Day, which is this coming Saturday. I will be releasing some videos on my YouTube channel of some new books perfect for Halloween, which would include Ray Bradbury's The Halloween Tree, which I have never read, which blew my mind that this is children's literature. So you'll definitely want to check that out. I'll be reviewing A Haunting in Williamsburg, which is kind of an old school sort of boxcar children themed book. I'll be reviewing A Peculiar Incident on Shady Street. And this was an incredible middle school grade book from a girl's perspective who is forced to move to a new town, to this eerie Chicago house where these kind of creepy things start happening. And lastly, The Charmed Children of Rookskill Castle. I was going to review this in today's video, but I didn't quite finish it because I've been taking so many notes. This is a huge book, and it has so many literary elements worth studying in the horror, gothic, terror, and supernatural genre, because it has a little bit of everything in it, including the mystery and the fantasy crossover. So definitely take a look at all of those videos, probably to be released Halloween first thing in the morning, which is this coming Saturday. Okay, but let's talk about these 2 books, Poppy Pendle and Howliday Inn. First, I want to talk about, let's talk about Poppy Pendle first, because I'm so in love with this book. I love this book more than I could possibly tell you. It is beautiful, brilliant, adorable, just the imagery, the writing is so pretty. It's like pretty writing. I don't even know how else to describe it. I love the story so much. It's by Natasha Lowe. This is her first book. There are now 3 more books. So this is the first one of hers that I've read. It was like one of those stories where it's like the second you're done, oh my gosh, I have to have the other books. So I'm going to go right on Amazon and buy them right now. And that's exactly what I did. So Power of Poppy Pendle. So let me tell you about the story a little bit. Poppy lives in this town called Potts Bottom, and she was born with these kind of beautiful magical powers and abilities. And in this town, there's a school for witches called the Rutherford Academy. It kind of reminded me of Hogwarts, but instead of like children being shipped off there, they just leave every day and go to school there, which is, it's a local school for gifted witches. And either you're a witch or you're not. There's both and crossover in this town. And if your baby was born with these magical powers, you take the baby to the school and the baby kind of auditions. And if it can do kind of cool magical stuff, they reserve a spot for your kid for, you know, when it's 6 or 7 to come back and go to school there. And that's what happened with Poppy Pendle. And so there's a lot of, you know, school scenes where she's taking lessons on witchcraft and magic and flying brooms and doing potions and spells and that kind of thing. But I love the book so much. It resonated with me in a lot of ways. The problem is that Poppy doesn't want to be a witch. She doesn't want to go to witch school. She doesn't want to do any of that, learn any of that. She wants to be a baker. She wants to like own and run a patisserie. When she grows up, she loves to cook and bake. She buys cooking magazines and cookbooks and bakes, you know, mostly bakes, all kinds of beautiful, like scrumptious things you'd see in a French bakery from the time she was a little tiny toddler. And her parents are like, no, that's not happening. You're going to be like the best witch in the entire universe. You're going to make our family look good. You're going to be the pride of our family. Our entire self-worth and image is based on how successful you are. So her parents are just like these parents that expect, that push and push and push and drive and drill their kids to be these high overachievers. Like, it's kind of like it, like you might see in a movie, like the kid from the time it's young is, you're going to grow up, you're going to be a doctor, just like your father, your grandfather, your great grandfather, and that's it. And but the kid wants to be like a trumpet player or a football player or like a bum artist or something like that. And it's like threatening to disgrace the whole family, and that's just not happening. So they take away your ability, they stop paying for your lessons. That's what happened to Poppy. So the parents, you know, and some of the Amazon reviews were really harsh about how terrible the parents are. Yeah, they're bad, but I wouldn't go as far as some of those reviews. The parents are just portrayed as only caring about her becoming the best witch in the entire world and making them look good. That's it. So they're obviously narcissistic. And the more Poppy rebels, because she's getting older, she's 10, 11, she doesn't want to go to this school. She doesn't want to do this stuff. She knows what she wants to do. She's known since she was 2 years old. And for her fun, for her hobby, for her passion, she likes to, bake, read about baking, buy baking stuff, and experiment in the kitchen. Well, her parents start taking all that stuff away. They eventually take away the oven even, so she can't do any of that because she's rebelling against her school lessons. And she keeps begging and pleading, please listen, I don't want to do this, you're not listening to me. And so they take away the one thing she loves and refuse to let her do it because she's not focusing enough on her witch school. So she runs away, and she gets kind of this stone cold heart and starts using her magic to cast spells and turn everyone to stone, including her own parents, which reminds me a lot of like what happened with Martin Short as Jack Frost in the third Santa Claus movie. If you've seen that, where he freezes the girl's parents and then he warms and softens and then they melt. And so the parents are definitely portrayed as pretty unloving but Poppy runs away to this French bakery, which turned out where she was born. She was born in a bakery, and her mother was hiding that from her because it's almost like it's her destiny, Then there's this warm French woman who takes her in and lets her bake, and it brings all this success to the bakery. But eventually Poppy's parents find her and they drag her back, but there's some talk like from the woman who owns a French bakery that she'll take Poppy to come live with her and get this social, like the services involved. I thought that was a little bit I didn't really need to be in the book, but I didn't think the author needed to make the parents be quite so terrible for Poppy to rebel and get this cold heart and start to freeze everybody and just kind of check out of who she is. I mean, they could have I feel like the parents could have been, okay, fine. You do really good. You get an A on this test. You do this witch spell project. You do whatever. Well, go to school. We'll buy you a new cookbook, or you do this, then we'll reward you with your love and your passion. But they just took it all away. So I feel like the story. Well, I guess she wouldn't have rebelled and run off if the parents let her even do any of that still. So that needed to be in there. And I don't really like, of course there was a happy ending. The story really is about we're born to be who we're meant to be, and following your true bliss, following your passion, becoming who you're meant to be was all part of the story, which I liked. And she does overcome the strife and the people trying to squash her and make her into something she doesn't want to be. And in the end, there's a happy ending. I don't like though how the author resolved the relationship with their parents, keeping them like frozen for 5 more years, and turned to stone for 5 more years. I feel like she could have resolved that better. But I'll let you discover that for yourself. But the book was so beautiful, like all the description of the food, the recipes, the madeleines, the caramel crunch cookies, the lemon cakes, the almond cakes, and there's there's a lot of beautiful descriptive writing, like of her ability using magic to make rainbows and sparkles and bubbles, and you could really relate to her emotionally. It was cute. It was really well written. It doesn't have illustrations, so it's a full regular novel size. It does have what I think is really super cute in the back, recipes. There's about 10 or so, I didn't really count, but 10 or so recipes of baked items that Poppy actually made in the book, which I thought was super cute. So I love this book, and I can't wait to read the rest of them. I was very, very surprised how much I love this book. Like you never really expect to love a children's novel, but sometimes it just blows you away. And so it was like the perfect book of a little girl witch, I guess is how to say it. And I actually had a father that was a little bit like her parents, that tried to tell me what I wanted to do, which was follow English literature in college, and what was going to be a wasted degree and blah blah blah, and that's a whole other long story. But I could relate to her story. Maybe that's why I love it. But the writing was really, really, really cute. So definitely pick that up. I think it taught a good lesson of listening to your instincts of who you want to be, and it shows you the power to become anything that you want to be. So let's talk about Howliday Inn by James Howe. This book was so super cute, and it was done traditionally as a mystery. James Howe even said that he wanted to write a book that sort of followed in the footsteps of Agatha Christie's style. So he read all of Agatha Christie's books so that he could write a children's mystery that was very similar to her style. I don't know if you've read Agatha Christie, but when I was reading this book, I could totally see it, like, 'cause I've read a lot of her work, and I could totally see like he followed the structure. So what this book is about is these two animals here are pets of a family. The family's going on vacation. They can't take their pets with them, so they have to ship them off to Howliday Inn, which is, you know, has a little bit of that spooky Halloween theme to it. So that was super cute when these creepy things happen there. But really, it was like a boarding place for animals. But I really like how I could feel, well, okay, so the book is from the perspective of the animals, like animals that can talk to each other and whatnot. Um, but I could almost feel their emotion, like when they're shoved into their carriers and dragged away and dropped off at this strange place and watching their family walk away. It's like, like I'm a pet lover, and I could almost feel the emotions the animals felt. So he did a really good job of evoking emotion in that regard. But then they're put into their kennels, the cat and the dog, since their family they share. But kind of like in Agatha Christie's books, what happens is mysterious things start happening, like during the night. Every night an animal starts disappearing. Every night they wake up and all the other animals that they've met on the parade yard and not vanish from their kennel in the middle of the night. And so the characters, just like in Agatha Christie's books, like, and in the book And Then There Were None, what happens is in this hotel and Then There Were None, where all these guests go in Agatha Christie's book, missed guests just start disappearing during the night and no one knows where they went. So the remaining characters, just like in this book, go around and try to look at clues. They analyze, they give hypotheses, they swap ideas. It kind of felt like playing a game of Clue. That's kind of how this felt reading this book. So that's what happens with these two. They're trying to solve all the clues of what's happening when these animals disappear, and there's this mysterious howling noise during the night. There's a couple of human characters in there that are like teenagers that are caretakers of the place. And I fully suspected what was happening, that they were being taken from their cages and being used for animal testing, because there's this creepy scientist guy kind of at the beginning who's there when the animals check in, and that talks to the family, that says he has to go away for a few days, but I kind of suspected that, but I was wrong. So I like to try to guess if I can figure it out. And I actually was totally off on this one. So he did a really good job. He also wrote quite a few other light horror for children. You can see the books here. Nighty Nightmare, Bunny Kula, Return to Holiday Inn, The Celery Stalks. I can't read that fine writing. Anyway, this was the first book that James Howe wrote without his wife. He and his wife wrote a lot of the other books together. She passed away. This was the first one he did by himself. He didn't think he could do it. And this is the first book of his that I've read, so I can't compare them, but I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of humor and wit between the characters' dialogue, like the cat and the dog going about, with the cat, of course, being the wise one, the smart one. Of course, I'm a cat lover. I have 4 indoor cats. So it was kind of funny. I chuckled a few times. It was cute. It was well done. It had a happy ending and like the mystery revealed kind of a scenario that was like, oh, like I literally didn't see it coming. It reminded me a lot of the Boxcar Children's Mysteries, a little more well done than that. I don't want to say advanced, but no. Well, actually, are there illustrations in this book? Let me just yeah, there were a couple of like pencil type drawings. I would say this would be a good book to read to a younger kid, or maybe ages 8 and up, depending on how good a reader they could read this. There was nothing scary, frightening, or too spooky like in regular horror. It just had the light theme, the light creepy theme of the dark and mysterious things that are scaring them at night. It's just a really light reading if you want a little teaser into the realm of horror literature or Halloween, or even perfect mystery. So anyway, those are my 2 recommendations. Love these books, them both. Love Poppy Pendle the most, but they were both super cute. I love the artwork actually on all of James Howe's books. All right, and keep an eye out for my Halloween YouTube videos for more great book reviews. Thanks everybody for watching.